Guys, we are back and we are getting ready to review the biggest movie so far of 2018. And it might be the biggest movie ever. We'll still have to wait and see about that. But we're getting ready to review.
You've got Deadpool 2, Venom, Solo, Avengers Infinity War.
I think Avengers Infinity War will be the one to do it. But the rest of them, they're not dethroning the king.
Deadpool 2, bite your tongue.
No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. We're talking about Black Panther.
Death Wish.
Did you just say Death Wish?
Yes, that'll dethrone it.
No, man.
Oh man, I can't wait for Death Wish.
No. Black Panther, you're getting me all riled up here, guy. Black Panther, it is the latest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a darn good film. Enjoyed it immensely. Guy, we first saw Black Panther. He was in Captain America Civil War. Great character. Very, very cool. He has his own standalone film. What did you think about it?
Fantastic, especially considering this isn't the first time they tried to do a standalone Black Panther.
What was the first time?
Marvel Studios was actually trying to do a Black Panther standalone film in '95.
Really? That's quite a while ago.
Produced by Wesley Snipes and starring Wesley Snipes. The only reason it didn't happen was at the same time Mario Van Peebles was doing a documentary about the Black Panther Party, and no studio wanted to touch it because they thought it was about the political movement, not the comic book character.
Interesting.
That, and let's be completely honest, Marvel comic book movies in the 90s, you had Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher and whatever Howard the Duck was.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of glad that movie didn't get made back then. I mean, when you saw the Fantastic Four and Captain America and all those early 1990 Marvel films, I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. So we've got this version now here in 2018. We've had to wait a while. Did you enjoy it?
It's well worth it. I loved it. I was actually surprised that Disney, who's known for straying away from really controversial subject matter, did a film about racial identity.
Sure.
And didn't really... They didn't ham-fist it. They actually dealt with it in a very conscientious way, and they gave both sides of the argument. They gave Prince T'Challa and the Wakandans the racial identity of they're African, but it's not, what we in America think of. It wasn't the... all the slavery, feel bad, you're a white person kind of racial tension that is pro-manufactured now in Hollywood. It was, we are from Africa, but we are royal, we are proud, we are beautiful people. And I thought it was fantastically done. You did end up with a character who had that, but he turned out to be, I would not call Killmonger the antagonist. I would say he's the divergent point of view more than anything else.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
He's not the direct antagonist. But the fact that they dealt with it in a very conscientious but non-condescending way, I thought was very well done. And to be completely honest, minus a couple issues I had with CG, everything was very well handled.
Like, what were some of your issues with the CG? Which parts exactly?
Well, when you had T'Challa and Killmonger both in Black Panther costumes fighting at the end, it felt like I was playing a PS3 game. Sure.
But isn't that one of Marvel's, tropes at the very end of a movie? You've got Iron Man facing a bigger Iron Man. You got the Hulk facing that's their kind of, that's what they do.
But this CG kind of felt like it was still being rendered. It didn't feel finished. It didn't feel like there was weight to it.
Sure.
Yes, the Black Panther is stronger. Yes, you're throwing these people around. Yes, and blah, 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 blah. But it honestly felt like cartoon bubbles fighting each other. It didn't feel like there was weight to it. It didn't feel like there was realism to it. It felt that once they had turned on the mag lift for the train and kind of deactivated their suits and their faces came out and you actually saw the physical beings fighting each other.
Yeah.
But the version of that battle that I think worked better was slightly earlier in the film when they were fighting for kingship
Mm-hmm.
and it was just them on King's Cliff.
That was a cool scene.
That I felt the emotion. And as much as they tried to not fall into the Marvel trope, they fell into the Marvel tropes of the hero's defeated, has to go away, then comes back at the end, and we're all going to fight, and he's going to win. That is every Marvel film,
Sure.
and that's just the trope they fall into. But
we still eat it up, though.
oh yeah,
We still
But
do.
another thing that I absolutely applauded was, with the exception of Ross,
Mm-hmm.
Martin Freeman's character, it was not tied into the MCU. It could stand on its own. They reference elements of Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
They suggest the events that happened because this takes place afterwards. This can be its own film, yet you have Claw and Ross who tie it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but in a very peripheral way. They could have really made that bad. Because if you remember at the end of Civil War, Bucky's in Wakanda and so is Cap.
Yeah.
It could have been, rather than having Ross in the plane, flying it around, it could have been Captain America.
Yeah.
And if they had done that, it would have completely destroyed the experience for me. Because it would have been way too much of, hey, we're in the Marvel Universe, look at us. And it's not. It is the Marvel Universe. It is the MCU. However, it didn't feel like it was being forced into that. It felt like it was a natural flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot wait to see Black Panther 2. I'm so in love with these characters.
Yeah, and those characters, Marvel does something very, very well, I think. The fact that they have so many interesting characters and they put them all in a movie, whether it's the Avengers or what have you, or Infinity War coming up, they make them all relevant, all interesting, and it all feels like they get enough screen time. I loved almost every character in this film.
There was one thing missing.
What thing was that?
The Soul Gem.
Well, that's
You've seen
Wait,
every other gem of the Infinity Gauntlet everywhere, because they keep saying Wakanda has its heart, Wakanda has its soul. The Soul Gem, I believe, and it's been theorized by several people, that the Soul Gem is actually part of that mountain of vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
That it is going to be there where you find the last one. Plus, if you watch the trailers for Infinity War, there's a big battle that takes place in Wakanda.
Sure.
So I think that's where the last of the Infinity Stones is. We'll have to wait for Infinity War later this year to find out, but that's just my theory. But where other ones, they've just kind of blatantly thrown out all the soul gems, there was none to be found here.
We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Did you have any favorite characters?
Yes. Killmonger.
Killmonger was your favorite? I loved his hair.
I think he is the best Marvel villain.
Over Loki, over Thanos.
Screw Loki. Thanos will not hold a candle. I think Killmonger worked for one reason and one reason only.
What's that?
You felt what he was going through. You understood what he was doing. It wasn't, I am a despot, I must rule the world. No. It wasn't, they tried to force this thing with Loki of, he was originally a child of the Frost Giants who was taken by Odin and blah, blah. He was raised as friggin' prince and he's pampered. He's a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
Killmonger had his father killed. He went up and discovered his body. He grew up in a broken system. He grew up in an oppressive system. He grew up and became trained by the CIA to be nothing but a murdering machine. And then he found his true calling and heritage, and all he wants is to assume what he feels is rightfully his as a blood descendant of the throne of Wakanda.
Right.
I think that's perfect. And the best line of the film actually came from him, which was, you're going to be, we can, still save you and heal you, but you're going to be in prison. I would rather be dead than in prison.
Right. That was a good line.
That was one of the best lines, and it was so well done. I think Killmonger is one of the greatest Marvel villains. Too bad we can't see him anymore because he dies at the end. However, I also loved Claw.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis Oh my God, you could tell he was having so much fun on set. He was loving every minute of playing this part.
He's such an underrated actor.
I think there were moments when he was smiling, you could actually see bits of the scenery actually in his teeth. He was chewing it so hard.
Yeah. My favorite characters, I enjoyed Black Panther's sister. Mm-hmm. She was kind of like the Q of Wakanda. I really enjoyed her. I thought she was fun. I thought she was cute. I thought she was not only smart, but she was also great in battle. And I also enjoyed the bodyguard of Black Panther.
The general of his army?
She was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And cool, man.
She had it all. She was strong. She was powerful. She was beautiful. All the women. There was not a single one that was a damsel who needed to be rescued. Every one of them were strong, powerful, beautiful women. And I thought very well done. But as far as his sister, I love Chadwick Boseman, and I can't forget her. I forget her name. But they play off each other as brother and sister, and just the little digs at each other. It felt real. It felt like these are people who have basically pulled each other's hair for 20-something years. It's done with love, but they are brother and sister and annoy the crap out of each other. And you can see it. You can feel it. And it really feels real.
Yeah, I agree.
The one thing that they handled really well that I was scared of when I saw the trailers was the astral plane sequence.
Okay.
When he takes the herb and they bury him. And
right.
That astral plane sequence, I so was scared it would feel like a badly ripped off Lion King.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It honestly felt with the mythos of what they were going with, which, by the way, every single bit of mythos in this film comes directly from the comics. Every bit. It wasn't anything manufactured for this film to tie it into the MCU. This is exactly, especially the story you hear at the beginning, the meteor that crashes to create the heart-shaped herb. Every bit of that is directly ripped from the comics. Almost verbatim.
Nice.
So,
nice. Very
well done, very well handled.
Can we talk about, I don't know who the lady was who did the costumes, but I thought the costumes were fantastic in this movie.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
If she doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, there's something wrong. I mean, not only the costumes on Wakanda, but when they were going off to South Korea and some of the other places, just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. And it's rare that it happens in a comic book movie, but I'm saying this, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
He deserves an Oscar nod next year for Best Supporting because fantastic. But yeah, the costumes were beautiful. Like I said, minus a couple issues, most of the digital effects, very well done, very well handled. The score.
Yeah, the score was very well done, too.
The score was absolutely great because it mixed what sounded like traditional African tribal music with, I don't want to say hip-hop, but more of a
R&B, urban?
Upscale urban beat.
Yeah.
And feel to it. So it actually had that modern feel, but it also had that traditional feel blended together. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really enjoy Black Panther, and the cool thing is usually when we have these kind of movies, we got to wait 2 or 3 years for the sequel. We just got to wait like another month to see Black Panther. He's going to be in Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
But
they even tagged that at the very end. Black Panther will return in Avengers Infinity War, which comes out in just a few months.
Yeah, and you can guarantee there's going to be a Black Panther too, so be on the lookout for that. Guy, thank you so much for the review. We appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
We got more reviews coming your way next right here on The Screen Team.